All praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Whomever you may be, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom. All right, getting back into another according to the Bible. And you already see what it's about right here. It says, equipping the saints for the Hebrew Israelites, every tribe. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9 and 10. So we're just going to play the video and dive right into it. Lord, will you be edified?
If there's one text we can really focus in on where we see that salvation is for all of mankind, people out of every nation, it is Revelation chapter 5, verses 9 and 10. Let's read it. And they sang a new song, saying, "Worthy are you to take the book and to break its seals, for you were slain and purchased for God with your blood men from every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and you made them to be a kingdom and priests to our God, and they will reign upon the earth." John here is basically exhaustive in the language that he uses to describe those who are saved so that there's no doubt. And we could spend time to break down each one of these terms of tribe, language, people, nation, but I want to focus here just on that first word, tribe. Every tribe, that is the Greek word phule. And what does it mean here when it is used by the Apostle John in the book of Revelation? Let's take a look at the lexical data. So we're looking here at phule and lo and need.
See, he don't even need all this extra stuff, but I'm going to let him talk.
Lexicon. We're going to read all of this. A subgroup of a nation which is regarded as being more closely related biologically than the entire nation, tribe. Anna, a prophetess, was there from the tribe of Asher. In a number of societies, there are only three well-defined biologically related groups: the nuclear family, that is to say, the immediate family, the extended family, often referred to as the clan, and the tribe or nation as a whole. Under such circumstances, it may be necessary to speak of the 12 tribes of Israel as being 12 large clans. This would.
And right there is where he should have just turned the video off, because he just unexplained whatever it is he's trying to explain. Because that's the same when you go into Acts chapter 10 and 11. All right, dealing with who was it, Peter and Cornelius. All right, showing that Cornelius was an Israelite, not a heathen. Okay, though he was a Gentile, but not a actual heathen. Though he was an Israelite, because when you go into Acts chapter 10, verse 28, you come up with the same word that he just mentioned there, which is phule. Okay, and it tells you, and we're gonna grab it. I'm gonna let him finish up real quick, because he just pretty much helped us out on our end. But of course, like these people do, they're going to keep trying to basically like they're trying to out talk the Bible or whatever. I don't know. But let's play the video.
Emphasize their biological relationships, and at the same time would suggest that they constituted part of a larger ethnic unit, namely the nation. On the other hand, a number of so-called primitive societies have a great many designations for different sets of biologically related persons. These may designate an individual family, an extended family, the clan, a group of clans, a division of a tribe into two interacting units called moieties, and finally the tribe as a whole, equivalent in larger societies to a nation. The choice of appropriate terms for various groups of biologically related persons became particularly complex in certain passages in the Old Testament. Now, this is the exegetical dictionary of the New Testament. Notice what it says here, starting with Revelation 7:9, shows that this hope for the...
Hold on, because he's jumping now. Revelation 7 and 9, and we dealt with that, all right? Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's read this real quick. And I'm going to have to switch to KJV, but we'll read with AMP real quick. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9 says, "And they sing a new song of glorious redemption, saying, Worthy and deserving are you to take the scroll and to break its seals. For you were slain, sacrificed, and with your blood you purchased people for God from every tribe and language and people and nation. Why is that? It's because the Israelites were scattered. That's why it's worded like this. You have made them to be a kingdom of royal subjects. This goes back to what's said in 1 Peter 2:9. I made you a nation of kings and priests, a royal priesthood. You see? You have made them to be a kingdom of royal subjects and priests to our power, and they will reign on the earth. I almost want to get that scripture, okay? So we can show you who Peter was talking about. But let me go to this KJV real quick and reread this. Just bear with the moving a little slow. All right, so the KJV. All right, so 5 and 9 and verse 10 again. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain, and then it's talking about Yahushua, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood. It's talking about Yahushua making that sacrifice on the cross, which was for Israelites only. But let's keep going. It says, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. All right. And when you go into these words, it says, and has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. As a matter of fact, let me get, since I mentioned it, I'm going to grab it real quick. Let me see here. I want to say it's 1 Peter 2:9. All right, so it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. Wonder what can you precept this at? In Deuteronomy 7:6, where he chose what? One nation out of 18 nations on the face of this earth. He chose one nation to himself. That was the nation of Israel, which are today known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, the Levites, right? But because of Yahushua's sacrifice, he opened up the priesthood to all the 12. That's why when we go to, and I'm glad he went to Revelation chapter 7, because when you go over there, there's a reason why there are 12,000 men from all the 12 tribes of Israel that make up the number of 144,000, because all those tribes can now operate as the Levitical priest did. Now all the tribes are open up to that, to being priests. Let's keep going. And not only that, we know a lot of the kings came from Judah, but in the kingdom of heaven, those same 144,000 men, regardless of the tribe, are all going to be kings. See? Beautiful, right? Kings and priests, both. Okay? David was, a king. Okay, but he also was a prophet. Okay, Moses, he was a leader. He was a Levite. You had Aaron, he was a priest. But let's keep going. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people. All right, and that's the same thing that comes up in Deuteronomy 7:6. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have to get it. Just gonna have to get it. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, man. It says, for thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So we're dealing with a separation here. Of who? Excuse me. Separation of the Israelites. All right? Because this is Deuteronomy. Okay? Talking to the Israelites. All right? Under Moses. You see? So let's bounce back. It says, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Okay? Now, and there's more we can get from that, but it will take us back to too much history. Hosea, going back over to Paul, Moses again, okay? There's so much history there, but all that history shows you how it's centered around the Israelites and never another nation. That's why we mentioned the word fool. Well, he mentioned actually Fule, but Fule, is how you prove that Cornelius was an Israelite. Okay, and we're going to get that. But first, we got to go back here because he mentioned these words. He read it in another version, kindred, okay, and, tongue and people and nation, but the main two being kindred and nation. So let's get kindred real quick and see who was the Lord redeeming. All right. What does it say? Fule. Check this out. Why doesn't he read the definition here? He goes into the lexicon. If you went to all that, you could have went to this, right? It says a tribe. Okay. But it says in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. And we know that Yaquab had 12 sons. And those 12 sons had sons and daughters. And the people that came from those sons and daughters throughout history are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. So why did he not bring this definition up? Since he seemed to know so much. He's so right. Why didn't he bring up the true definition of Fule instead of going to doing all that other reading for no reason? Which he actually went into it from a different, like I say, he basically unexplained himself by trying to read all that, in the lexicon. There was no way around it. You going into the lexicon was not going to validate your point. It only helped the truth out. But as we go into the particular definition, we just go straight into it. We don't have to read all the other stuff. What does the actual definition say? In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, a nation people. Because when you go into nation, that's where the word Fule came up, which is the avenue he used. But it leads up to the same thing. So it didn't matter what avenue he took. Okay? You can't get around what the truth says. So when you go to nation, let's see what nation says. Ethnos. Man, it says, you can't make it up, man. A multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus. Because we talk about the 12 tribes of Israel. I try to light it all up. All right? A tribe, nation, people, group. See? So now as he went over to, as a matter of fact, we'll let him see what else he's talking about. And as he does that, we'll go over there to Revelation chapter 7 to further bring, because we read that Peter, all right, 1 Peter 2:9, Deuteronomy 7:6, and these scriptures here, and those words there, all right, as we go to Revelation chapter 7, as he try to jump over, it's going to bring it full circle, because we just talked about those things. So I'll play him, and we'll go over there.
Eschatological reestablishment of Israel refers to the eschatological church of the Jews and Gentiles. Here, Fule means generally people as an ethnic collective, and is also used with this meaning in similar contexts in 5:9. This is Thayer's lexicon. For Revelation 5:9, notice a race, nation, people. This is Bauer Danker.
Well, are not the Hebrew Israelites one race? They're 12 tribes, but they're one race. Okay? So-called white men, another race. The East Indians, the so-called Japanese, and so on and so forth, man. All right? Those are the different worlds on this earth, okay?
Arden Gingrich, a Greek-English lexicon of the New Testament and other early Christian literature, 3rd edition. A relatively large people group that form a social-political subgroup of the human race, nation, people. The point is, this is not just Israel. Israel is one tribe of the earth. At best, you could say they are 12 tribes of the earth, because there are the 12 tribes of Israel. But the text says we're dealing with every tribe, people, language, and nation. Israel is not part of every tribe. Israel is one, and again, at best, 12.
That's because when it talks about every tribe, when it speaks about salvation, it's talking about of the 12 tribes of Israel, not all the nations. Let's finish the video.
So when it says every tribe, it means every tribe, including Israel, but not exclusive to it.
Negative. All right, bye, Felicia. So, Revelation 7:9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Okay, we just read all these same things. Okay, let's see what kindred goes into. It's the same thing. Fule. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, a nation, people, a tribe, because we come all under the same, name, Yashar Allah. but we're split up into 12 tribes, man. That variety that the Lord has there. So when you go into nations, it's going to be the same thing, man. It's ethnos, you see? A multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus or family. All right? So let's back up the point there and get just a couple of scriptures. Matter of fact, where's James? Let's get James 1:1. This is why it says out of all nations, because we've been scattered into all nations. James 1:1, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. If it's for everybody, why don't the apostles ever acknowledge the other nations? And that's not what they mean when they say Gentiles. When they talk about salvation in Gentiles, they're acknowledging other Israelites that were scattered into these other nations. Let's get scattered abroad. Diaspora. And it says what? A scattering, a dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations, because these nations are foreigners to us. But because we're under the curses, we're just strangers in foreign lands. Okay? Let's go back. Let's get another one. Okay, let's go to what did Peter say? I believe it's the first one. All right. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua, to the strangers scattered. Let's get scattered. Diaspora. We don't have to go into it. It's the same word there. Let's get strangers. All right. It says, a sojourning in a strange place, a foreigner. Okay. It says, let's get the first. It says, one who comes from a foreign country into a city or land to reside there by the side of the natives, which is where the Israelites are, as we just read in James 1:1, scattered into these heathen nations all over the earth. And you can't get around that. Scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father. All right. Here's another one. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. And we talked about these things before, man. Okay. Peter just mentioned the same thing. Scattered here, scattered there. James 1:1, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Paul wrote letters to the churches scattered. John the Revelator wrote letters to the church of scattered, who were all what? Israelites, man. You see? That's why the Lord says here, way back in the Old Testament, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. The remnant of his people. Not all the nations. The remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea, which are what? And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. You see? So when you go to Revelation chapter 7 and Revelation chapter 5, it tells you who that's for. These are the outcasts of Israel, those that were exiled from their land, which are the Israelites only. Okay? So you can't take where it says all tribes and apply that to every tribe on the earth, because when it says all tribes, it's applied to the 12 tribes of Israel that were scattered abroad amongst those other tribes of heathen nations. You see? The Lord's not delivering no heathens, man. Not in no way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay? It says, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, man. The dispersed. Let me just read that. To scatter, disperse, overspread, be scattered. See? The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Going back to the split of the northern and southern kingdom, because Ephraim was the head of the north, Judah was the head of the south, and they had tensions. Okay, beginning with Jeroboam and Rehoboam, the son and the servant. Okay, of Solomon. Solomon had a son, and then he had a servant, and that's how the kingdom got split under those two, and that's where the differences started. Okay, and it spread amongst the people because those, depending on where you were in the north, under Jeroboam, or in the south under Rehoboam, depending on what you felt about the opposite side, the north or the south. You see? A family affair, as we always mention. Family business, man. Oh, I didn't mean to go into that. So him doing all this extra reading, why didn't he just go straight into the direct meaning of nation, which brings up Fule? Okay? He didn't do that. And I'm not sure if I even got that video. I almost want to say I went into that video before. It doesn't matter. We're going into it now anyways. And we're just going to, just a real quick lesson there to show you how this dude, he's got no clue what he's talking about, man. He's just like any other typical, anti-Christian, all right, being the anti-Messiah that they are, who wants to save everybody. And sadly, you even got Israelites that want to do it, but you can't. You can't save everybody. You also have Israelites that think it's an all-black thing, and that's not true either, okay? It is what the scriptures say. So if you're not, and that's why I always mention, you have to accept the gospel in its fullness, the 100% truth, every little bit of it, even the nastiness of it. You have to accept the gospel in its fullness, because in order to teach it, you have to teach it like it was taught, like it was written. Okay? But we're not even going to hang on this anymore. Lord will, you were edified today. So I'm not sure I'm going to say shalom.